What's up, everybody? We got Kat Dail today. She's from New Hampshire. Indie, soulful, groovy artist going on. Her new song's called Red Pill. Red Pill. Do you take the green pill or the red pill? Everybody tuning in later. Hello. Everybody tuning in right now. How you doing? Put all your comments in the chat there. Just gonna wait for her to join the chat. We're getting warmed up. This one's called Can't Buy Love. You guys ready for another interview? Got a couple more this month. Got some people from American Idol tuning in. That'll be some good chats as well. What's up, man? How you doing? How's the movie script going? Been busy. Ready for another interview today. Stick around. Invite your friends, too. Invite everybody. Share it. Share everything. She's a ready, she says. Hey, what's up? Everybody tune in right now. We got a new interview with Kat Dail. Replaying. You'll hear me say this a couple times. We're just waiting for her to join the room. There she is. You guys ready out there? We'll get warmed up here. Can't buy love, baby. Hello.
Frank.
How's it going?
I'm so glad to see you.
What's happening?
It's the cocktail hour. Time for our talk.
It is. It just occurred to me that I'm like, that is the time, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that Superman shirt. I was going to ask you about that.
Hey, this is actually from Superman Returns.
Cocktail.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to get serious here.
I usually have water, but I have nothing today.
Well, it's important to hydrate. I've done that already. Now it's 5 p.m.
It's hot today. We got that storm coming in, so it's been raining a lot.
It's actually, the tropical storm is totally above us right now during our talk. So I think I have a hot spot going. I think I have some backup, but we're at the mercy of global weirding, all of us. So.
That's all right. Let me shut my fan off for a
we're
second.
Celebrating our talk and yeah.
I was like, all right, now we get to business.
Thank you for joining me and celebrating my new song, Red Pill.
No problem. I was just playing some love. Can't buy love, baby.
So I'm so interested in your Superman project because I think you might know that I had my last record, which I put out in 2018, was called Fight for Love. And that title was inspired because I went to the Wonder Woman movie in 2018, like everybody else. And the thing I loved about Wonder Woman was that she's not fighting for like the American way or revenge or something. Like Wonder Woman fights for love, you know? And so I'm just like nerdy and idealistic enough that I totally take that to heart. So that's the title of my album, and it's also a lyric in the single from the album, which was called Wonder Love. And
I draw from movies too. Movies are awesome. So you are a superhero fan.
Totally. And I'm a Star Trek nerd and yeah, big sci-fi geek. For real. Like all
Star
cool
Trek's
people,
pretty
right?
cool. I'm not obsessed about it, but
I think we're more or less on the same page. So here's to you and your awesome show. Thanks for inviting me.
Cheers. Thank you. Thanks for coming on. Everybody tuning in later, thanks very much. Tune in right now. Feel free during any time in this chat to put in questions and we'll answer them here. Now, you're from New Hampshire, right? That's what I read?
Well, I'm in New Hampshire today. And I have a little house up here, which is where I have lived and had my kids and stuff. But I'm originally from Kansas
Okay.
City, and I always feel like that's a little bit relevant because one of my first producers, who has been like an amazing mentor and one of my seriously best friends in my life, is Harvey Goldberg, and he does all the live sound at, used to be at Letterman, now at Colbert. And he was the one
Oh,
who
okay.
said to me, pointed out to me that like my songs are kind of go across genres. It all feels really natural to me. And he said it's because you're from Kansas City, so you're at that crossroads where there's like amazing jazz, amazing blues, amazing, trucker music. Like all those vibes
Yep.
are happening, and so I think they're all a little bit in my bloodstream. But yeah, I'm in New Hampshire today. Where are you?
Okay. No, we're not too far. I'm near Albany, New York. So it's
Oh.
about maybe 4 hours ish, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's not too far because actually the part of New Hampshire I'm in is where Vermont and Massachusetts and New Hampshire come together. So like I'm in extreme southwest of New
Oh.
Hampshire. So it's actually pretty close to get to Rutland and
So
all.
you might be well, I always say Albany, but I'm really near Glens Falls. So you might be like 2.5 actually. Might be even closer.
Or instantaneous on Instagram Live.
Precisely. So I hear, I mean, you got indie, you got some soulfulness, groove. I do hear Sheryl Crow, that kind of alternative country, I guess you want to call it.
Cheryl Crow from Kansas City. She's a music teacher in the Kansas City public school system. Yeah, I mean, I definitely I want it to be a soulful performance delivery, and I've got an insanely soulful band. So even though we recorded remotely Red Pill, I feel like the groove is solid and the pocket is there, and that's always important to me. Like it has to feel good, you know. And
Yeah, a lot of it comes from the drums, that feel.
well, I feel like I'm so lucky. That the name of my record label is Lucky Magnet Records because I always feel like I'm holding this magnet. I just attract and draw in the thing I need, and I just always thank you, my lucky stars. But on the song Red Pill that were just released last week, and also on my last record, Fight for Love, I was so thrilled to have Sean Pelton play drums. And Sean's very well known. He's probably best known as the drummer on the SNL band. But his resume is
Okay.
like as long as your arm, and
It's a
deeper than
laundry
the ocean.
list.
So yeah, and he's also from Kansas City, so that's kind of a funny thing.
Oh,
But it was
okay.
cool
Is that how you
because
met? Like,
no, we're like people, cool people from Kansas City are all over the world, and there are a bunch of us in New York City, and it was just something we had in
all
common
right.
after we had met. Actually, I was recording Fight for Love, and the idea was just when I started out was that it would be a duet recording because I'd been going out as a duet on tour, and we were selling my previous record, which was a full band record, and we thought we need a record
Okay.
to sell a record of what we're doing. So we started out to make this duet record. And then we got into it about halfway, and I went out one night to Bar Lunatico in Brooklyn. Please support them and all these indie venues, everybody, if you can. And
Yeah, they're going
Bar
through a hard
Lunatico was
time for
an
sure.
amazing place. One
That's
of my
all right
original.
now, past week, I've been getting all the emails and stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, in the middle of this supposedly duet recording, I went out to Bar Lunatico and I saw my friend Clark Gayton and Sean Pelton playing. And the next day I went back to the studio and I was like, I need drums. and so we called Sean and he was amazing. And he actually put the drums onto tracks that we had already started. So that's not usually how I make
Okay.
a record. Like I would usually start with drums, but he's a genius. So yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for digging that.
Yeah, it's a lot of the records and stuff, they start with drums and it's kind of an old school way, but I always say just from I've been into the mixing stuff for the past like 6 years, and I've always been into the garage band type of level stuff for 10 years before then. But after getting into all the production and then working with the different producers as well, the drum sound makes your record, is the quality of the record. And in heavy rock, it's electric guitars too. If your electric guitars aren't clear and all that kind of stuff, and the drums aren't great, it's downhill fast,
I
you
think
know.
that's extra true for live as well, and one of the ways that you can immediately judge a performance, even though, we're not all out to judge everybody. But I agree with you that
Yeah.
like it's pretty hard to have a good track if the drums aren't super solid. And I was really lucky when I started out to play with one of my all-time best friends, Sean Kim, on drums, and then with Roy Fantel for a long time in the city, and then now with Sean is really so cool. But yeah, we
So
started
how
with
did you
Sean.
start? Like what age?
Sorry.
How did you start? Like what age did you decide, you're really gonna do this?
To like really become a musician and do all that. I well, it
Yeah,
was when I
besides
was a little kid.
I learned
I was
guitar
made to
for
take
10 years and
yeah. Well, when I was a little kid, I was made to take piano lessons from a super grumpy old lady who was mega strict, and like if you didn't play the song exactly perfect, you couldn't play the next song, and like I thought, that's not fun. I guess I'm not a musician. So I never picked up an instrument again until I was almost 20 something, I think. But I was singing the whole time. I was always like in every choir and choral and madrigals and musical and all the stuff. So, and then I got to college and I really got immersed in whole kinds of music I didn't know about and turned on and hung around with all
yeah.
the musicians and lived in the house with the people who had the best record collections and all of that. And then it wasn't until I was out of
Starving and
college.
broke too.
Totally. Then when I got out of college, I had some like more free time on my hand than I wanted. I started
Oh,
taking
okay.
guitar lessons, and as soon as I started taking guitar lessons, I started writing songs, like right away. And then, as I said, all these people around me were musicians, and they all supported me and backed me. And were my really good friends Jim Doofman and Matt Berardo and Bill Berry and all those guys who were in my original
Kept the
Cousins
inspiration.
band. Yeah, yeah. What about you? How did you get started?
My story is it's interesting. You ever seen the movie The Crow with Brandon Lee?
Yeah. Okay.
That's how it started. It started watching that movie and saying, what is that guy playing on the rooftop? Because it's already a dead rock star coming back to life, killing people. I was like, that's cool. But yeah, I asked my mom, well, what is that? She's like, it's a guitar. And I was like, I want one of those, but I want to play what he's playing in the movie. So that was my first goal, and I learned the whole thing by ear of him noodling, on the rooftop for that movie. And the style of music from that movie, from Bride of Chucky, Resident Evil, that kind of stuff, that grungy, I don't want to say Marilyn Manson, but it was around all that time.
Yeah.
Made kind of the style of my guitar that I was like, okay, I'm done with the Blink 182. I'm done with the Good Charlotte. Let's move on to all that kind of stuff and Metallica and a lot of 80s stuff. So
Yeah, that's
I've
a
been
moment
playing
in
for
time.
20 years now. So it's just that, and then learning drums and bass and mixing and all self-taught. It's
That's
crazy. It's
awesome.
fun though,
Yeah,
real fun.
me too. I think I could afford about 6 guitar lessons, and then I just did what I could do.
Yeah. I took classical. The guy wanted to do classical, and I go, you know
Oh,
what?
wow.
I brought him like a Metallica song, and I go, that's what I want to do.
Hey, good night, Blanchard 908. I'm just trying to check out these comments. I've been like focused on you, and I haven't really been seeing what's going on. But hey, everybody.
See you
Well,
later,
tell me about
Devin.
your
Sandy,
Superman
what's going
project.
on?
I want to know about
Yeah,
your
any
Superman.
questions? Feel free to put them in that. I know one of them wanted to know a little bit more about your history. Were you in another band or another project before your one or two main albums that you have now?
Yeah, so when I came to New York and started taking guitar, a handful of guitar lessons and started writing songs, and then my friends really backed me and we'd get like the super cheapest rehearsal studio we could get that had like, full of ashtrays and all that. And we
Oh, okay.
we but we didn't know what we were doing, but we had so much energy and enthusiasm, love for the music, love for each other. And so we had this band of folks who were kind of all over the country, but we would take all our off time and come together, and we called ourselves Distant Cousins. And yeah, we were
There you go.
pretty happening band all through the '90s. We were a CMJ band. We had that band is part of how I got my residency at the bitter end all through those times. So yeah, and I had that band for 8 years, I think, with a couple incarnations, and we had some cool things happen. We opened for Ben Harper. I don't know, we had a few fun things, and but then everybody wanted to get married, and so we didn't break up. We broke up very amicably, you know. We sort of checked off a lot of
Yeah,
our goals, and went off and got
that's
married and
that's
had
the
kids and
dreadful
stuff.
breakup.
Yeah,
It's always they got married, they got a kid, or it's I don't know, they want to work on cars or something like that, and it's like I'm like, focus, stay focused. And it's after, they learn all the material, you guys are ready to play out, and then I'm gonna get a girlfriend and see you later.
yeah. It was lucky that we all hit that mark at the same time. Like it was, and
Yeah,
after
yeah,
7 years
that's
of like touring the whole country and charting on CMJ, and we did a lot of we had a lot of sync stuff. Then we were on like also moment in time stuff like 90210 and Dawson's Creek. Like we were in all those,
really
TV soundtracks of the moment. So yeah, I feel you.
wow. Those are cool back then. They need to
Back
bring
in the
that stuff
day.
back.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
makes
No,
the
I
songs
think so many
popular a
lyrics.
lot of times.
I think probably one of my sync license highlights was because I'm a huge tennis fan and I'm a huge fan of the Williams sisters. And Venus Williams was playing at the
Okay.
U.S. Open, and I had a song called Prayer to Venus. And I had met Pat O'Brien in a bar like 2 nights before, and I hit him with my CD, of course. And sure enough, they went to CBS and they played Prayer to Venus behind Venus Williams montage at the U.S. Open. I was like, that's what it's about right there.
Wow.
So
That's
that was
cool.
fun.
That's cool. So is it's kind of like where were you? It's more New York City when you're meeting everybody, or
Yeah, I came from Kansas City and I came east for college, and then literally the day after I graduated from college, I was starting my job in New York City as the low gal on the totem pole at a gallery, and doing music on the side pretty actively, you know. So, and I've always had a history in the arts, and I set myself up in front of this amazing painting, which I hope you can see. Let's see if you can see that. Which
yeah, I had to look at that 3 times. I was like, I don't know what that is at first. Now I know what it is.
isn't that awesome? That's a painting
Nice.
by
Do
my
you paint
friend.
yourself?
What's that? That's a painting by my friend Kate Krebs,
Okay.
Krebs. I met her when I was on the Fight for Love tour, and we were in Nashville. And she's actually, I think, from Mississippi, I want to say, but she was in Nashville, and she had her artist studio right next door to the photographer Michael Weintraub, and I was doing a photo shoot there, and I went next door and saw her paintings and met her, and then she told me she shows her paintings at Arrow Gallery in Nashville. So anybody who
Okay.
digs this picture, I strongly recommend you follow her. I think her handle is Creb Cakes, and she is represented at Arrow Galleries in Nashville. So Kate Krebs, yeah. So yeah, I have a history in the arts, which was kind of paying some bills, but it's turned out to be. I've had quite a successful time in the music. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
when I
Well,
was
I hear,
graduating
a lot
from
of the
college,
art
my
stuff
dad thought
really
I would
does
never have a
good.
job. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I hear the art stuff, with musicians and even filmmakers and stuff going through that world. I've never really even, I played at maybe 2 art galleries, but honestly, it's like a foreign world to me. I just don't, I feel I don't fit in at all. I don't know why.
Well, I'm sure
But what
there's
I was gonna
some
say is
part of
everything reverts back to Nashville. Everybody knows somebody Nashville or whatever. Even I think your management and stuff. I know he works with the Hinder guys. They're from that area, and
Yeah, yeah. Shout
it
out to
all reverts
Jason
back to
Bartlett.
Tennessee.
Yeah, shout out to Jason Duarte, Scorpion. Thanks for backing the red pill, and yes, and putting us together. Um, yeah, no, Nashville was awesome. We did a very cool songwriter circle there, storyteller type vibe, and
Oh, nice.
met a lot of cool people. That was a good place to be.
Have you gone on tour, you think, with or you're gonna what do you think's coming up as far as tour wise? I know the industry is like who knows where it's at, but do you still have high hopes that you know we'll be able to tour the country or something someday or
I think someday is the word there. I mean, I'm really
Yeah.
lucky. I'm so lucky. When this started to come down in February, March, one of the things that really got my attention first was when they canceled South by Southwest. I remember thinking,
Yeah.
that's a lot of people and a lot of money. This is kind of serious. And then, like, I think about a half an hour later, they canceled the NBA. And then I was like, okay, okay, this is for real.
Yeah.
But
Then
I
the
remember
whole film
thinking when they
industry went bye
canceled,
bye.
yeah, I remember thinking when they canceled South by that how grateful I was, how lucky I felt that my Fight for Love tour, which had gone from started in the middle of 2018, ended toward the end of 2019, was wrapped and complete. And my heart just goes out to everybody who had a tour planned and all the plane tickets and all the gear booked and all the all the energy and the little village that goes behind that. I just feel really, I really have feelings for those people who are in the middle of that. But in the meantime, it was lucky that I was kind of at the point in the cycle where I was writing songs and ready to do some recording, which we turned out to be able to do remotely. But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I think the
Yeah.
arts is phase four, right? It's like the last thing to come in, the big crowds and the arenas. That's the last thing that's safe. So I think there's going to be a whole economy of people who, for the last 5 months, have been doing stuff like this for free, and then it's going to switch all to Patreon and to be subscription performance and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah,
what
I could
happens is
see
going to
that.
just blow out. Like the floodgates are going to open, and it's going to be fantastic, right?
Well, the trouble is I fans are great, people are great, but they forget because of digital technology that or they think still everything is free, and to have a career, and especially I don't mean it for myself, but everybody that you guys like and support on some level, it's a career. Likes, comments, and shares, it's great. That's one form of support, but we can't expand and release more songs or even someday consider any sort of touring without that kind of support. And so it's really, really important for that out there. And some people get it, some people don't. Some people really think that if they follow somebody on Instagram, it's kind of like buying their record, and it's not. You
No,
know,
no. That maybe on the user side it feels the same, but on the creator side it's not at all the same. And so I
Yep.
salute you totally, and I feel you totally in my heart. I mean, like we're losing some indie venues that are like institutions. They have institutional memory. They have cultural
Yeah.
heritage, significance, and
They have
also they
huge
have
bands that before they were huge, they started there. That's where they started.
yeah, and also these places have community, right? Like community. And
Yeah.
so I put up a post not too long ago about saving the bitter end, but I also mentioned just so far tonight Bar Lunatico and in Denver Mercury Cafe, like all these great places that have significance beyond just like a hole in the wall to get a beer and hear a band. Like there's more to it than that. So anybody who can
Yeah.
help back save our venues or save our stages, those are good places to donate for that, or just to your local place. They're just trying to keep, like everybody, keep employed, keep it together, keep open, you know, and keep
Yeah.
hoping. So
The good thing
yeah,
I know in at least New York State is they can't kick anybody out. So if any of these venues, I believe anyways, like can't pay their rent for the past 4 months or something, they can't kick them out. So, but I don't know if at some point they actually have to pay that back. I'm sure. But they do that too here with like if you had an apartment, they can't evict you right now. And that's a double-edged sword because there's people that are trashing apartment complex and people are losing their retirements and all that from it. And it's just it's crazy. I mean, I know and staying home more. Have you been going out as far as like
Yeah, no,
outdoor
I'm not
dining or
going
any of that kind
out.
of stuff?
No,
Yeah, I'm not either.
yeah, honestly, I mean, I'm a super fit, healthy person. I'm not really at risk in any category. But I just feel like it's not a thing you want to survive. It's a thing you want to avoid. And I think it's
Yeah.
really a pretty, can be a pretty horrifying experience to have it. And I think we don't really understand everything about it. It sounds like there's all kinds of horrible uh, repercussions, consequences from having had it. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy in my little bubble up here, and as I said, I mean, I've been really lucky that I can kind of throw myself into the creativity and be like working on this song and on some remixes with Stu
Yeah.
Brooks and
Keeps
stuff,
you
doing
going.
this, and to work with people who are really have the technology, the experience and the vibe to get it done remotely with me has been like saving, the saving
It's
thing.
amazing that can even exist. The idea of sending a vocal over digitally and somebody putting it and editing it into a song and this guy doing drums and um I've been doing that mostly for the past since 2012. In between, I actually went somewhere and worked with somebody, but it's two different experience. I've had the in studio old school experience where the whole band's set up and I'm in like a
Yeah,
booth and they're tracking and my part gets deleted to be redone later. But that was the old school way. And then it's digital. My second EP was like I never met anybody in the band. I listened to their music and I was like, yeah, I think that dude's cool, but yeah, I have no idea. So it's just so weird. And getting into like voiceover stuff and whatever, it's weird because you don't really know the person. You don't get that history going. Like you said, when you met that guy at the bar and you hand him the CD, he remembers you. This is kind of
yeah,
like
yeah.
you might talk to somebody on a message and it's not the same. You're gone a couple seconds later.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mixed bag, right? Because what you just described is the downside. But this digital world has been amazing. I have met so many cool people who have turned into like incredible collaborators and really good friends. I mean, shout out to Will Townsend in LA, who it was at the time a photographer in Chicago when we were on tour, and I just hit him up on IG, and he ended up filming 2 videos for us and a photo shoot with me.
Oh,
And same
nice.
with Gary Gallardo and In Transit Films in Denver. Like these are just these cool guys, these um, and women, just cool people who are doing creative things, and you can find each other on Instagram like you, and put stuff together, and that I love that. That's the upside of it. And as far as the
Yeah,
recording, the
it's
remote
great.
recording, for us, I mean, Clark Gayton is the producer of my new song Red Pill, and Clark is an amazing guy. Like he's played with everybody from Clark Terry to, I mean, he's in the E Street Band. He's played with Rihanna. Like he's
Oh,
played with everybody, and he's a really good friend of mine. Um, so I knew him already because he had played on songs on my 2012 record, The Wonder, and on my 2018 record. So we had been in the studio together before, we had worked together before, and then most of the guys that we brought in the band had played with Clark, or I had played with them, or we had some um,
chemistry going already.
pre-existing vibe and code and knowledge of each other musically and otherwise. So um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think if you can have that, might be the best of all worlds in pandemic times. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, even this kind of stuff, it's great because everybody was so busy before. I'd never be able to even think of this idea. I tell everybody, I admit I started this out of boredom. I go, what can I do to expand? And just with the people I know, maybe they would come and sit down because the fans are interested in the stuff they don't get to hear about. And like I had Brian Craddock from Daughtry on here, who's one of my producers. The way we talk, like with the gear stuff, is not normally what people, hear. It's cool, it's interesting, and it's low key, it's not really an interview.
Yeah, it's just us hanging out at cocktail hour.
Exactly. I don't have anything to drink right now.
I had to
Nothing.
do it. I had to do it. Well, I'm really
So
happy
anybody
with
out
what
there
you do.
in the chat, feel free to put some questions in there. I know you can hard up this video, but afterwards it'll be available and you can restream it, 11 times if you want to, and then share it to your stories and all that.
Ask me
Also, it'll be
anything.
on Facebook, all those good places.
You can ask me anything, really. I don't care.
Lately, too, I've been getting a lot of people that come back in for the playback and then ask questions and stuff
I do
because
that a lot myself. I find that
they're at
people,
work or stuff like
yeah, I
that.
find that I'll have 5 friends doing a live at the same hour. Like, I can only
Yeah.
do 1 or 2, and in the live moment. So, yeah, I mean that's the other thing that's great about all this. We can do it when it suits us. But I've been so grateful that we have the internet. I'm like people's heads would
Yeah.
pop off if we didn't have Netflix and TikTok and survival,
Yep.
digital
What's up,
survival.
Andrea? How you doing out there?
Andrea, I love that too.
Sue's May 73. What's up? It looks like she was laughing about something.
I don't know.
Laugh it up. Laugh it up. So your new
Well, we're
songs,
having a
are
good
you
time.
gonna do an EP or an album, you think?
Sorry, say it again.
Your new material that you're working on now coming up. People look forward to an EP or an album or a single.
Right. So the thing that just dropped last week is a single, and it's called Red Pill. And it's an
Yep.
amazing song. It's produced by Clark and Clark Gayton, and it has incredible horn section. It's a very cool, I think, spooky, sexy kind of, again, across genres type vibe song. And that song was written specifically commissioned for a film, which is being written and directed by my now very good friend Tanya Pinkins. And I read, it was Tanya's producer, Vicky Goal, invited me to write a song for the film, and so I went to Catskill, New York, to the Lumber Yard, which is a cool sound stage where they were filming, and I sort of got a feel for the film, and then I asked for the screenplay, and I read the whole screenplay, and so a lot of the lyrics for the song Red Pill are from the screenplay, and the song will appear in the movie, which is supposed to come out
Is it
around
a comedy
election time.
movie? Is it a drama or a comedy or?
Yeah, it's a totally incredible movie. It's the
Oh, okay.
closest thing I can compare it to is Get Out. It's a
Oh, I got you.
socio-political, racial thriller horror film.
I
And
love those.
in the context of this film, and therefore of this song, the red pill is the bad pill, right? It's the conservative MAGA hat,
Okay.
you know, white
So
supremacy,
nothing to do with the
misogynist.
Matrix.
Well, that's the thing. It's been so interesting. I have to say, Frank, like I always thought of Red and Blue Pill as the Matrix, and I love the Wachowskis. And but there was while we were recording the song, Elon Musk posted, "Take the red pill," and then Ivanka Trump posted, "I've taken it, Elon," and then Lily Wachowski posted, "Fuck you both." And I think it's because the concept of the red pill in the Matrix was, where Lawrence Fishburne offers it to Neo, to Keanu Reeves, is to say, would you like to know the truth of reality? Exactly. And apparently that concept has been kind of perverted, and I guess the concept red pill shows up on 4chan all the time, and the white supremacists have said, you know, that they're taking the red pill. So I'm not really sure that's how Elon Musk meant it, but I'm pretty sure that's how Ivanka Trump meant it. And I know that it's
Yeah.
not how Lily Wachowski meant it, and it's not how Tanya Pinkins and I mean it. So, but it's a really interesting point of conversation, and everybody seems to have a different angle on it. What's yours?
To me, it's like it's destiny. Do you want to stay your normal life and just kind of coast and not really know what is really out there? So it's more, I guess one is more dangerous than the other, but one is more adventurous, you know?
Yeah, yeah, right, right. It's an adventure to know the truth, right? And I feel like that's something that's you know, I'm trying to be as opportunistic as I can in these really difficult times, and even in these times when we have to challenge our own privilege and our own cluelessness up till now about so many things, you know, especially as a white person, that I'm trying to look at it as opportunity to know about hard truths, and that, you know, there's this adventure in pressing for what's right, you know.
Yeah. I know
I mean, it's a little bit
it's
of an
such a
adventure to go
fine
to a
line
protest
between,
march. Sorry.
what was that?
I said it's a little bit of an adventure to go to a protest march, you know?
Yeah, now it's nowadays it's like this is what I feel like is like you can't really say on what's on your mind anymore officially. Like your opinions aren't really, if I were to go on and really say how I feel, I would piss off more people than I would not doing that. So I choose to say neutral. I mean, some things I will hint at. You can hear that in my songs. But um freedom of speech nowadays, it's not the same. It's not the same. I don't know if technology has changed that or what. But yeah, all the protest stuff, everything going on now, it's kind of I think it's like an outcry of that. You know, it's kind of, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, I feel you totally, and I'm from the Midwest, and I was raised to be just polite and quiet and cheerful, you know, and I
Yeah.
have to say, like, those days are over. For me, those days are over, and we're at a place where too much fundamental freedom and justice and equality is at stake, and has been all this time, and so. I mean, maybe it's because I'm a little bit older and my kids are grown and gone, you know, and so I don't feel like I have that much. I had this theory that like when you have small kids, you kind of stay quiet and you keep them together. And like my
Yeah.
kids are gone, I have checked off most of the boxes of goals in my life, and now my
Yeah.
main goal is to
I
sort of
think you get bolder
represent
as you get
this, you
older
know.
too.
Yeah, so I mean, I do think of Red Pill as a protest song, and Fight for Love had elements of that in it, which were less pointed because the time was less pointed. But for me now, as an artist, it's really important to be in the times and speak to the times, and you know, it's what I feel like. I have these feelings about that stuff, you know. I like everybody, so um, you know, there's we can all be at different points on that spectrum, and that's cool. And sorry to answer your
Yeah.
question about my other project. The other thing I'm working on is some amazing remixes with Stu Brooks, and Stu is just an incredible, like world class bass player who's also done a lot of production and work with Grizz, with Michelle Indicello, with his own amazing band called Dub Trio. So
Okay.
yeah, Stu and I met a year and a half ago or something, and I just gave him one song to remix, and I thought he really killed it. We released that. That's called "Can't Buy Love" remix, and that's already out. And then,
Is that the one
hey
in the
Derek, I
video?
see Derek and Kimberly. I see a lot of people I know. That's nice. So, and then we've just hit it off, and the remixes have been great. And so, I think he's remixing the seventh one right now, and it looks like it's going to turn out to be an LP. And if we can, we'll get it out for holidays. Otherwise, we'll just be dropping singles, and you know, there'll be fresh music. But
Are they remixes of songs that have been out, or they're just songs you recorded and then you hung on to them and then remix them?
Yeah, well, I think he's going to do a remix of Red Pill, which would be cool. And he's also done a
Okay.
remix. Three of the remixes so far are from Fight for Love, which is my 2018 album, and three of the remixes were from The Wonder, which was my album before. But now that we know each other better, and now that I've done a remote recording, I think we might also put like a brand new song on it as, like kind of a track you can't get anywhere else. But I have
Just
to say,
one.
like, the remixes are so fresh. They're so, like, they're reinventions of the song. So it's not like, it doesn't feel like a rehash at all. But yeah, I think we'll
Yeah, it
have a
sounded
lot
like
of
just
fun.
going through and yeah, we'll remix the drums and the bass and like you're doing stuff different.
Yeah, there is remixing of that. In fact, I think in most cases the Sean Pelton, real world drums are gone, and Stu has put digital drums on, and then maybe like some kind of recorded percussion or something like that. So the character
Yeah.
changes, the vibe changes. Like it's a very cool experience as a songwriter to take your song and like turn it inside out or upside down, and sort of find out what are the
Yeah.
essential parts of it, what are the things that really make it work, and what else, remove everything else.
I've always wanted to hear like a techno club remix of one of my songs from you ever watch the movie Blade?
Well, put it on
The,
your
you
list,
know
man.
the
I
music?
recommend it highly. The remix experience is really cool, and as a songwriter, as I said, I think it's a very like it's a great exercise.
Yeah. Yeah, they do that for movies a lot. And I remember Living Dead Girl Rob Zombie, they did a version for the Third Crow movie, and I listened to it and I was like, this is this is not the song. This is not the song. It is the song. It's not the song.
Right,
It's
and
so
you're
weird.
you're right both times, right?
Metallica, I don't know if people know this, but there is a From Whom the Bell Tolls version on Spawn soundtrack. It's not great. Maybe that's why I don't hear from it a lot, but there's stuff like that out there that are just like, all right, it's way different.
Right. I mean, it's almost like sampling or something in hip hop. Like you can take a little thing and just make a whole other thing around it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and I love hip hop. I'm a huge hip hop fan, even though I don't make hip hop music. But it influences the way I write and the way I think about production.
Yeah. I think that's where the soul comes from. You hear a
I
little bit of it.
guess, or goes to, right? I mean, I don't know.
I can
I'm a
hear the
huge
Sheryl
fan.
Crow too. That's the first thing I thought, Sheryl Crow.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I mean, yeah, I think I'm all over the place. Like I get people telling me I sound like all kind of different things, to the point that I figure when a person tells me what I sound like, what they're really telling me is what they listen to. But
What is
but
what is the
I
oddest
always find
one?
it really interesting.
What's
Who
the
do people
most
tell you
far-fetched
sound?
one?
What's that?
What's the
Who do people?
far-fetched one? Like it would be like you sounding like maybe Amy Lee from Evanescence. I mean
Uh huh.
that's a
Uh
far
huh.
out one.
Right on. I dig it all. I love that. And all the women, like we're only 30% or something of the entire music industry, and like 4% when it comes to engineering producing. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'll take all those comparisons and take all their inspiration, put it in my pocket, and keep cooking. Who do people tell you sound like?
Um, I've had like one or two, maybe three really weird ones after a concert. One of them was Disturbed, and I was kind of like, I don't think my vocals sound like Disturbed at all. I go, maybe the guitar playing a little bit. The other one was John Mayer one time because there was some photo he was like standing this way at concert, and he got my same haircut or something, and then they're like, oh, you look just like him. I'm like, maybe angle, but I don't think I look like him. The other one, I can't remember. The other one was like not John Denver, but somebody like that because I was playing a few different cover acoustic songs, and I'm like, yeah, I don't see that at all.
I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing it, but that's what makes the world go
Well,
around.
the Johnny Cash would be something different because it's more of like I do a lower voice thing and I could see that. But
You should
I
gotta
think
get
it
some
was
people.
like Rick Springfield or something like that, and I was like,
Oh, oh yeah, that's Jesse's girl.
yeah. Well, not that song, but it was like some of his other stuff, kind of how he
I'm not
sounds.
proud that I know that. Not proud.
Yeah. Edwin McCain, you ever heard of him?
Say it again.
Edwin McCain from the 90s? No?
I don't think
I'm
so.
trying to think of Howie Day. Do you remember Howie Day?
Yes. Are we
Yeah.
having old home week now?
I like it. I
I
like
know.
it.
I know. Well,
I
it's
almost
amazing.
opened up for him once. They said I was too heavy. I was like, I will play acoustic. I will play love songs. Nope.
I know. It's weird. It's weird the things people say about all that. That's cool. Well, what's the scene like in Albany? I haven't played in Albany lately. What was
It's
it like?
very, bigger artist oriented. We have our one kind of outdoor amphitheater place, that holds, I think it's like 25, 30,000 people. We have venues that hold about 1,000. Those are a lot of the ones that I noticed the artists do like the personal acoustic sets. I played with Three Doors Down in Candlebox. It was called the Egg, and the place is literally
Right,
shaped
right,
like an egg
right,
on the
right, right.
outside.
I've seen some good
And so
shows
it's
there.
that intimate kind of stuff. And Alice Cooper does maybe like 2, 3,000 people, like theater venues.
Right, right. Well, I mean, maybe that's why I haven't played
Indie
in Albany
stuff, it's
lately. It's like
bad.
just a big arena place, right?
Yeah, I mean indie it's not too great. I mean there's a couple bars, but a lot of them have gone away, you know.
I
Nothing
know.
up here. When you get north of Saratoga, not much at all. There's nothing.
Oh my God, that sounds like a good name for a song, North of Saratoga.
Yeah.
It's a mood.
Sad one. Uh,
That's cool.
well, I appreciate
Well,
you coming on here. This has been a fun chat. I've always liked the hangout stuff here. It's
you're
cool.
so awesome to have me. Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
No
I guess if
problem.
there's anybody there with us now or tuning in later, I would just ask people to support indie venues, support indie artists, support Frank and this awesome show. And you can support me by listening to my record, and especially, I don't know why. Tell me what you think about this. I have 18.
Downloading the record.
Thank you. I have 18,000 followers on Facebook, and they're mostly not that active. I don't know if they're bots or what. And then I have 8,000 on Instagram, and that's pretty active. And then I have like almost no Spotify people. So like I would really appreciate if you guys would go on Spotify and back the music.
Spotify's a
That's my
tough one.
action
That's a
item.
tough one. That's all a playlist marketing gimmick. But
I
yeah.
guess.
I've
I
got
don't know.
like four.
So
I've almost 400, I think, 425 or something. I'm like, all
I'm not
right.
a
I hope
gamer
to
in
get to
that way.
1,000 someday.
Yeah, I just don't know what to make of it. I'm not a gamer in that way, and I don't want to buy followers or whatever. I really don't know, but I just keep throwing the ball at the hoop, and you know, it's gonna swish. It swishes sometimes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anyway, talking to you is a total swish. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem. I appreciate it.
So
You
are
got your
you?
stuff on. I was gonna list a list everywhere. So it's iTunes, Amazon. Follow her Spotify. Follow everybody's Spotify because I think we're all low on that. YouTube. Yeah, are you on SoundCloud too? Can you hear some
Yep,
songs
we're on
there?
SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Tidal. Tidal's good for artists. Yeah, we're everywhere because I scored a distribution deal with The Orchard in March, and so it's been great when this stuff comes out. Like, hand it off and somebody else just bounce it to all the platforms. So I think it is
There you
on
go.
all the platforms, all the ones I've checked, and seems like there's action on all of them already. And so, yeah, hi, thanks for the hearts. Yeah, so I think it's everywhere. It's YouTube. I don't know where else is there. I think it's there. It's on our
I
website.
mentioned the ones that people don't really remember is Pandora Radio, and then for the
Right.
UK guys, Deezer. Everything over Deezer's a good one. I don't plug
Yeah,
that enough,
Deezer is
but
awesome.
I'm gonna start
Yeah,
to.
and there are a lot of playlists, a lot of good playlists out there. You can find it. So, yeah, right on. Thank you. And
Sounds
YouTube.
good. When you
There's a
got
bunch of
something
videos
new
on YouTube
in the
also.
future, we can do this. We can do this again anytime.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Well, we'll have a new Stu Brooks remix out, I think, in 4 to 6 weeks, probably. Maybe probably more like 4, since
Okay.
Red Pill's already been out for a week or something. So, yeah, thanks. Stay tuned. And please like, follow, share, subscribe, all that, you know. Fight for love, everybody. Stay safe. Wear a mask.
Sounds good. Oh, you cut out for a second.
Just hoping everybody will stay safe and wear a mask, you know.
Yeah, wear the mask, people. Come on now, wear them. I've got my Michael Myers mask upstairs, ready to go.
Oh, Andrea will be checking us out. That's awesome. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
She's great. She's from California. She checks out the certain fans on here. They check out everybody that comes on, and then afterwards too, they will. So that's good.
Yeah, I will answer any question I know about, and you can DM me or whatever. I'm pretty available. So I
Sounds
like to.
good.
We got to build community and stay connected while we're locked down, right?
Exactly. So I use cross promotion a lot. We're all trying to kind of cross promote ourselves, and we're trying to stay busy during this time so we don't get uncreative. It's hard
Yeah.
to
Well,
stay
I
creative
mean,
sometimes.
I'm all for that cross promoting as long as it's when it's genuine and it's about community and it's about reaching out and like this, that's great. I think there's so much of that that's like cynical and marketing and people get turned off by that. But ideally that's the most natural way for things to happen, right?
Yeah. You
All
still
right. Well,
there?
yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Is I think my tropical storm might be taking over.
I know now. I hear the rain like wicked outside here now.
It's intense, I must say. Like there's like 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts and stuff. It's the real thing.
Well, stay safe. I'll probably get hit after you with it. I mean, it's getting pretty bad, but so everybody follow her, all right? Check it out. We're gonna have more guests on this month. Got some people from American Idol on here.
Yeah,
Those
that's cool.
you remember the TV shows back when there was TV,
You're in the big
Tune
time.
in, all right? We'll be
You're in the big
around.
time. In the big time with American Idol. That's
American
cool.
Idol. American Idol, everybody.
Oh yes.
All right.
Thanks again.
See you later, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.